Hey everybody, I couldn't get enough of Susan Bratton, so I had her back. And like, it's not lost on me that as I'm like kind of showing up on time or late to this podcast, I'm like, Susan, I'm coming.
The more innuendos, the better, Kelly.
I know, right? So welcome back.
I feel so good being back. We had such a good time on the first episode. Oh my
We
God.
we
I already was in love with you, but then actually getting to be in your virtual presence was just so great. We had so
the
much fun. We
the
nerded
feeling's
out.
mutual. We totally nerded out, and you need to come back. So we've got a lot on the agenda for this hour. Everybody, go check out the last episode I did with Susan to get caught up to now, or join us in the middle of this amazing conversation. You know, everybody like always like does a long interview and then breaks it into two parts. I'm like, no. We literally have 2 hours of stuff to talk about.
And we could talk for more hours than that.
Probably true. Okay, so I wanted to start with defining what a yoni massage is.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Because that's where we picked up from last time. So for those of you who haven't been to the first segment, Yoni is a 4-letter word, but it's a really good one. Not as good as the original 4-letter word, because that's very cathartic, but it's extremely cathartic to have Yoni massages. Yoni, Y-O-N-I. It's a Sanskrit word that comes from tantric lovemaking, and it means the portal. But what I like about it is it's the word for the female urogenital system. And I like that it's comprehensive, because I don't like to talk about my vagina. Like, that feels so, okay, the only
Yeah,
thing that
like
matters about.
my inner labial massage.
Right, exactly. And I don't necessarily want to just talk about the vulva, which is the outside. I want the whole kit and caboodle. And I like that it has somewhat of a reverential and spiritual orientation toward it, because when you are getting a yoni massage and you are able to stay in your body and you realize that sex is a mindfulness practice and you keep bringing yourself back to sensation and your partner is lovingly learning all of the nooks and the crannies and the folds of your beautiful hanging gardens, and they are giving you all of their loving attention, and you are receiving it, and all the blood starts to flow in, and all the parts start to plump up with engorgement, with genital hemodynamics, that dirty, dirty word I
Blood flow.
love, my love language, blood flow, exactly. When it gets all plumped up and you've got all that surface area, and now everything that's touched feels so good because it's sending way more signals to your big brain, which is really your biggest sex organ. That is an incredible experience for any yoni owner, a yoner.
A
And
yoni
that's what we're
owner.
really going for. We're going for a yoner. We're going for the lady boner.
Yeah.
And the lady boner isn't just the tip and the shaft of the clitoral structure. It's the crura, the little arms, the vestibular bulbs, the little legs. It's the clitoral body. It's the urethral sponge, which people call a G-spot and is more like a big pool noodle, a big poob of spongy tissue. The perineal sponge at the bottom of the vaginal canal. Our beautiful vaginal caverns are wrapped in luscious erectile tissue, and it deserves the full 20 minutes or so that it needs to get to its full capacity, so we
What?
feel good.
Totally. What percentage of women that you talk to understand that women have erectile tissue?
Very, very small number, but it is growing thanks to people like you and I. So people are learning. Women are beginning to realize. I say, if I took all the erectile tissue out of your husband's penis and put it in my hand, and then took it all out of your yoni and put it on the other hand, it would weigh exactly the same. Close enough, in the
Pretty
grand
similar. Yeah.
scheme of things. Like, we have so much tissue, but it's in all these nooks and crannies. So it takes a moment. I liken it to an English muffin where, for your man, he's like, badoink. He looks at your boobs and he's got an erection if he's healthy, which is great. But for you, you get that English muffin out, you cut it in half, you stick it in the toaster, it pops up. It's not done. It's not toasty. It's still pale and wan, and you pop it down again. Now it pops. You got that hard butter out of the refrigerator. You stick it between the two sides, and then you just let it melt into all those nooks and crannies. And after a minute or two, now we're talking about a really good English muffin.
So
And that's how we work.
that's how we work. How do you help women who are embarrassed or self-conscious about their nooks and crannies?
can be the more that you learn how to do these things. When you lie down the first time and you butterfly your legs open, you say to your partner, this is vulnerable for me. I've been looking at myself in the mirror. And, I remember one time my husband said to me, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror because I want to tell you how beautiful what I see is. This was decades ago when I was still so shy and I wasn't even looking at my own genital structures. And when he did that, I realized, oh, it is pretty. I see why he likes it. And then I started feeling more comfortable. And then I have now, I don't even know how many Yoni pictures of myself I have. And it's interesting because over the years, I feel like as I've aged and as I've had more and more pleasuring and comfort with myself, that my Yoni's become even more beautiful and luscious. It doesn't look worse. It looks more beautiful to me.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. What would you go back to our first episode to figure out why the heck Susan is Susan at this point? Because it's a great origin story. I love it. But Susan, what would you say to you of however old you were, 23, 28? Like back when the sex was shitty and you didn't understand Yonis, like what would you tell her about like what the journey was going to be?
Yeah. So I would say, I was very, very lucky because my husband and I were committed to discovering our sensuality, our sexuality, helping me, cross the gasm chasm, close Dr. Lori Mint's orgasm gap. And we just went through a series of experiences. We started with Yoni massage and we started with expanded orgasm practice. And then I learned about female ejaculation and G-spot de-armoring and G-spot pleasuring. And I wanted to have that experience. And so it was kind of like ticking things off our list one by one until I had lots of orgasms from lots of different ways. And I had more confidence and my body image issues started to diminish. And the arc became one of sexual empowerment and confidence and skill from a place of lack of knowledge, which was created fear and uncertainty and distress. And there were many times when it was uncomfortable, but I was with my loving partner and we were in it together. And that's what I have found in helping and helping couples for decades have better sex. My brand is Better Lover. So, this is what I'm all about, is teaching passionate love making techniques and bedroom communication skills. And when you just begin as beginners together, it really keeps sex hot and getting even better together. So that's the journey. The journey is that sex never ends. There's always something more. There's so many things you can learn and they're really pleasurable and joyful. The first time you try something, it's not necessarily going to be like, you just have to believe and trust that it is and it's there for you and your body can learn these things. All of sex are learned, good sex are a series of learned skills and communication strategies.
Yeah, I love that. I think so many people just feel like they should be entitled to a good sex life or like, well, I don't have it, so I'm never going to have it. They don't think it's like kind of learning a language of like, I didn't know Italian either. And then you just like learn it and then you can read poetry in Italian at some point, but you have to start. For anybody who's curious, I don't actually know how to speak Italian, but I would think that's what it's like.
I would say that most people think that there's something wrong with them, that they can't do it. They don't understand that we're not naturally massively multi-orgasmic. Some people can do this, some people can do that. People find a pathway to orgasm and then they kind of stick with that. Mm-hmm. And that's extremely limiting. And so that's why I like to talk about orgasmic activation and orgasmic cross training, because when people go, okay, then there are those group of people who are like, okay, so tell me more about that G-spot activation, that female ejaculation, that P-spot orgasm, whatever it might be.
What's orgasmic activation?
So there was a study done of 41 women where a nurse practitioner touched them on their breasts and nipples and on their clitoral shaft and tip, their labial structures and on the introital sphincter and then inside. So on the vaginal opening and then inside the vagina. And they had to say what they felt. And they felt all different things. But when I read the verbatims, I realized I read every single verbatim and I'm like, oh, okay, this is 4 categories here. They felt pain, they felt shame, they felt numb, or they felt pleasure. And approximately 50% of women felt some sort of pleasure from being touched in the vaginal area. Approximately only 40% of the respondents felt pleasure being touched on the clitoral structure, which I thought was so interesting. I thought it would have been the other way around. But I think that when you are constantly, and generally these were women in relationships with men, so they were having intercourse, because people think what sex is intercourse and everything else is foreplay, which is really old-fashioned thinking. And I want to move beyond that for people, that you need what we call foreplay. That's sex. That's what activates all this blood flow, which is what makes it feel good. And I think that they were generally just penetrated. And so they associated that with okay, not shameful pleasure, but other places maybe weren't yet activated. And the way that you activate the genital systems and your breasts and nipples and your throat and mouth and lips and tongue, all these, what we would call erogenous zones, locations that are orgasmic, and there are many of them. You are essentially, you have in your nervous system, you have a lot of different types of cells. You've got mechanoreceptors that generally are things like corpuscles and nerve endings and all these funny little parts that send different types of signals to your brain. Some can feel stretching, some can feel surface touch, some can feel deep pressure, some can feel vibratory sensations. And when you're combining all these different sensations, your brain is getting the data that says, oh, now I can feel that's not numb anymore. Now I'm, with loving touch.
Yep. So
In a
basically,
safe environment.
you've got a symphony in your pelvis. We've mostly just been playing like a trumpet
Yes.
and not all the other instruments.
Yeah.
And that correlates with the data of Barry Komisarek, who showed that multiple nerve pathways to the brain the more nerve pathways you have activated at once, the more intense the orgasmic experience is.
Bingo.
Bingo.
So
there it is.
So that's the idea. You plump up the surface area with blood flow, which takes about 20 minutes for the average woman, for the average vulva owner. Then when it's plump, you stimulate it with lots of different sensation. And then all those little corpuscles and nerve endings and mechanoreceptors do their job to tell your brain, oh, this feels really good. I think I could have an orgasm from this. And then all of a sudden you start having orgasms.
I think one of the big issues is a lot of people think, oh, women take longer, like it's a put down, like we're dysfunctional, like we should operate like the man. I think there's a lot of like internalized judgment in like, why are our bodies so difficult and slow and why do they take longer? Do you get that too? Like people are like not making it like a wonderful thing. And side note, why are we rushing pleasure?
Right. We're rushing pleasure because we've been used to seeing images of pornography in television and movies where he rips her pants off. He pulls her shirt off and he pulls her pants down and he plunges inside her and she's supposed to be like, oh, and that's not reality. That's the patriarchal male, orientation toward sex, is that they want to just get that thing in there, and so that's what we see. And so we don't, so we think there's something wrong with us. And it doesn't matter how long I've had 20 different kinds of orgasms and how orgasmically activated I am. When my butt hits that bed, my mind is still going 3 million miles an hour on 3 million different things. My husband's already like zoom, locked in, ready to go. And we know that it's just going to take me what it's going to take me. And we don't think anything of it. And we do what I call the heavy lifting together to get mommy going.
Yeah.
And Yoni
Remove
massage
the
is the way
judgment.
to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing is just the way the body responds to safety is like it takes a while to feel safe. And this is
Yes.
part of the safety process of I feel safe enough and present enough that I can actually let the orgasm happen.
Yeah.
Because it's ultimately a very vulnerable position to be in. Your frontal lobe's turned off. You're not paying attention to anything around you, right? It is a vulnerable state to be in. And the body does need to be safe. And that does take a little bit of time.
Yes. I'd like to show you some toys that I brought, and I don't
Cool.
even really think they're toys. I think they're tools.
Perfect.
I want to just show you very quickly. I'm going to slide through a bunch of them because what I want you to notice about this is how each one of them is designed in a slightly different way to activate different areas of the yoni in different ways. And then later, I want to show you how to activate the male body, the penis, prostate, testicle situation. I've brought very interesting things to show you.
Perfect. We'll do our best for the audio only people
Yes,
in describing this.
I will describe things as I go. So I'm just going to show you a couple of different types of things. And one of the things I'll tell you is that I put links to everything I'm talking about at drivedesire.com. So if you're like, what was that thing that did the sucking or the licking or the poking or the pushing or the, I promise you it will be there. I promise it will be there. So let's go through them very quickly. The two that I showed you in the initial conversation that we did, part one, let's call it part one, was a combination of two different vulva vibrators. The Queen, which uses a pulse plate, that's really good at that deep vibration that goes deep into those erectile tissue bundles and gets the blood coming in there. This one, the Enhance, is a air stimulator with vibrator, so you can get that little lady boner popping while you vibrate all the labial and mons tissue. Then there's always the good old little bullet. Bullets are a great thing to have because they're small, they're low profile, and they can really get to a pinpoint location on the clitoral structure, typically on a clitoral glans, the head, the tip of the clit. You're going to either like the stimulation slightly off to the left side or slightly off to the right side. 80% of women, it's considered, and I think this was Barry Komisarek that actually came up with this, that 80% of women generally have more sensation slightly off the left side. For me personally, mine is my nerve endings, my 10,000 nerve endings terminate more to the right side. And so you can really get a nice sensation there. Another type of thing that I like for women who, this is the legato, for women who don't want anything inside their vaginal cavern at the time, there's labial and clitoral vibration. It's kind of like a circle, like a donut that goes right on the labial structures. And the labia, I got to tell you, when you get those labia activated, my God, like when my husband's giving me a yoni massage, sometimes all he'll do is take his very well-oiled finger and he'll just rub the very edge of my inner labia from the top to the bottom and then pick his hand up and do the other side and right to the top and the bottom. And that alone will give me orgasms. It's as sensitive now from all of the work that we've done over the years to get all of my tissue online and sensually connected. It's as pleasurable as being touched on the clitoris, being touched in the G area, intercourse, all of these things make me orgasm. So do not underestimate the pleasure benefits of labia. Another thing that I really like is something that can, and this is crescendo, this is made for women who have vulvodynia, vaginismus, issues like that, where it has these little ears that touch the clitoral shaft and glands, and then you can adjust it to wrap around right down the vestibule and right up inside you so that you're getting the entire vestibule, the clitoral structure, the vestibule, the introital sphincter, and the G-spot. So it's and it's adjustable.
The bendable ones and adjustable ones are nice because one size does not fit all.
It doesn't.
And sometimes it's too rigid if you're like, here, this is just the one shape you get. Hope it fits.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that the other nice thing about that one is it has, I think it charges on like a plate, which is kind of nice because like I said on our first one, I hate
cords.
I hate when all my cords look the exact same. So I like them to all be a little bit different. But there is like a ton of different, what do I want to say, vibration options for that one, which some people love and some people don't love. Like, dude, give me 4 options and I'm a happy camper. Give me 18 and it overwhelms me.
One of the things that I love is that most of these toys are app driven, and you can do things like listen to erotica on the app while you have that on you, and it will stimulate you to the story.
No way.
Way.
What app does that?
Satisfier's app does that.
Satisfier's app
Yeah.
does that.
Another one that
What?
another one that I really like is ones that go with music. You can just have the stimulation to your favorite songs.
Your favorite song?
Yes, you can.
Who does that?
Spotify. You can load your Spotify up in it. I think it is.
No.
I think it's
Stop the
I think it
boat.
might be the Love Vents or the Kiru app that does that. And then the other one that I love are, of course, and Mystery Vibe, the one that I've been talking about with the crescendo and the legato.
Mm-hmm. We like Mystery Vibe. I've had the CEO on
Sumi
episodes ago.
He's
but
a doll.
long time ago. Yeah.
Yes, Sumi is a
really
doll.
talked about the science of vibration and how
Yes.
the pelvic structures are incredibly tuned to vibration. And they're actually working on a product, I don't know if it's out right now, that vibrates the lower abdomen to help with period cramps.
Nice. That sounds great.
Cool, right?
It's not out that I'm aware of. And then this one I really like because it has a soft tip. This is called the Curve. And when you're doing G-spot exploration, it's very nice. This is very nice to go inside you. And also you can always, this is another one that I really like. This one's called the Pearl 3 from Kiru. And what I love about this one is that it has G-spot vibration plus whole shaft vibration. And both of these are really great intravaginally, and they can very well activate all of the tissue, not just the lining of the vagina, but beyond that, the other side. It's like if I were to give you a massage and just rub your skin.
It's like a deep tissue massage kind of, but not in a painful way. It's just like it gets
pleasurable. Yes. Well said. You're good with analogies. Keep them coming, mama. But I love the soft
ain't no
tip.
English muffin.
It ain't no English muffin, baby. That one makes you salivate. It's so good. Hello. And then I love this, and I love to use it in combination, which is I love to put this inside my vagina, the Pearl 3 with the G-spot stimulation. And then I like to put this wand, which is super powerful, but very light, the Pro Wand.
Who makes that?
On my clitoris. Both of these are Kiru. And
can you spell Kiru?
Yeah, it's all at drivedesire.com, but it's Kiroo.
Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
That was not intuitive.
That's why I put them all at Drive Desire, because everybody's like, how do I find them?
Yep.
And what I love is the combination of the internal filling vibration sensation with the external labial mons clitoral pleasuring. Now you're really getting things going, right? So I like that. And then, of course, we talked, I think, on the last show. Did we talk about the lioness, the quantified orgasm?
Well, that's the one that measures your
duration, intensity, contractions, and the style of the orgasm that you had.
Okay. Have you played with it?
Yeah. So you have volcanoes, avalanches, and ocean waves. And ultimately, you'll start with one kind, but
they've
over
gamified
time,
the orgasm.
Yes. Well, this is literally like an O ring, right? Like an aura ring. It's like an orgasm, but it's a rabbit. And I like that because it's stimulating internal and external. So you're getting double sensation. And you're able to see how your orgasm was that day. And you'll notice through your cycles with if you're tired or what have you, your orgasmic intensity and contractions will differ. And you can begin to cross train and try to have the different kinds of sensations and orgasms with a toy like this. So these are just some examples of things that I think are very, very fun. And then I would be remiss not to also talk about the nipple vibration.
Please talk about the nipple vibration.
I love this. It's called Gemini, and you wear this little necklace, and then you can put these on your nipples, and you can set them hands free, and you can stimulate your nipples while you're stimulating your vulvovaginal system, your yoni, because your mouth and lips and tongue and throat and the tip of your nose and your breasts and your nipples are in concert. They're in a pleasure system with the yoni. And so when you're kissing and you're playing with your breasts and you're playing with all the tissue in your genital structures, you're just getting all of that activated even better. You're getting better lubrication. You're having better orgasms. And this is just fun. It's
Dude,
fun
I'm
and
like
it's nice.
shaking my for people who can't see me, I'm like shaking my head as you're showing how these nipple because I'm like, how do you not have an orgasm in 27.2 seconds with those nipple
You
clamps?
have to take it. You have to take your
You
time. You
gotta
have to
take your
start low.
time.
You can't start on level 11, Kelly. You have to
Good
start low.
Lord.
Here's one more product that I want to
Okay.
show you because this one's really fun too. This one has straps, but you can take these off and you can take this out and you wear this. This is like a little harness that you wear. And this is a clitoral vibrator. You can put a little silicone pad on here and you can actually attach this to your mons. And this little point is vibrating. And this ring can go on your partner's penis. This is for intercourse play. This is called the Luxus. And this is not like, this doesn't do anything for him. It's just a ring he puts on his penis at the base of the shaft, but it's a proximity sensor. So when you're making love and this is stimulating your clitoris and he's going in and out, as he gets closer, the vibe gets stronger. And as he pulls
Stop
out,
it.
the vibe goes down. And what this does, Kelly, is it stimulates, it toggles the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So when you're going like this, you're going, I like that. And then when he's pulling back out, you're like, I want more. And he goes, okay, here's more, more, here's some more. Give me more. Oh, here's more. Like this. And it's just like the best orgasms from this thing. And you can
I
wear
didn't know
this.
all of these things existed.
This is what I love to do. As you can tell, I need my own QVC show. So this is so funny because you can also wear this in your panties. And your husband can take the remote control and he can take you out and he can wine and dine you at dinner and give you orgasms to get you ready for when he takes you home and makes love to you. Because we can have our pumps primed and primed and primed. I mean, we can come until we need to go to sleep. I mean, we have just a massive ability to have orgasms.
I want to jump on there before we go to the male centric toys.
Yeah.
Multiple orgasms.
Yes.
What are your tips for people? 'Cause I think a lot of people, they're worried, like, if I have an orgasm at dinner, I'm not going to have anything left in me to have an orgasm after dinner. Like,
Yeah.
how do you start teaching multiple orgasms? What are the top tips for that?
Yeah. Well, I would say number one is the Yoni massage is really a good way to do it because once you get that blood flow in, all that tissue plumped up, almost anything you do is going to feel good. And think about orgasms this way. There's the old Masters and Johnson refractory orgasm, which is I'm going up, 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 and then I have my orgasm and I fall off the cliff. But that's really the male orgasm. And that's what women have been led to believe is how we orgasm. That's why they get kind of one and done. Because in a way, it's just a limiting belief more than reality of their physiology. And when they realize, no, you can have multiple orgasms, which most women realize, okay, maybe I can have multiple orgasms. Most women begin to drive their clitoral structures too hard, too fast, too soon, too strong to get that one done because they've got performance anxiety around coming. And so learning how to slow down and build sensation and wait for arousal and wait for turn on. And then you start having orgasms and you can have little kind of climaxes and you can begin to stack them. You can have more of them. The next thing you want to do is you want to think about, okay, I'm having a couple of little sneezy orgasms. Oh, now the sneezes are getting better because I'm getting more blood flow. Now they're getting stronger and I'm having a few more. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to learn how to stay in the orgasm. So you're going to want to think about that as an extended orgasm. So now you take that moment of climax and you just keep getting that sensation, delivering that stroke or that vibration that feels really good. And you get into that moment of climax and you stay there. You just
Kind of
start
like you're like in a
being there.
climax reflex.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. You are in the moment of climax, but the time now lasts longer. Now you come in that climax longer. Okay, now you've done that. That's good. Now what you want to do is now you've got repeated extended orgasms. Now you want expanded orgasms. And expanded orgasms are where you start to stack them. And they get longer and more intense as you have them. But what is required for that is something called peaking. peaking is very similar to what I was talking about with the little harness and penis ring vibrator, where when he's getting close to you, he's delivering sensation. When he pulls back, the sensation resides. So it draws you toward it. So when you deliver, 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 your body reaches for it. And that makes it more intense. So these are just little things to think about. I recommend for people to do 2 steps. One is begin your yoni massage practice. And you can do it yourself with these tools. You don't need a partner to do this with you. This is you getting all that tissue around the vulva practically gelatinous. And then it's activating the internal vaginal canal and the G area. Now you're really getting things going. Now you can begin to ride the moment of sensation. Then you can turn up the vibration or whatever sensation you're liking, the tapping, the thumping, the nipple, the whatever, and you can turn it up and you can come even harder. And that's really good. But then you can learn the expanded orgasm practice, which is a little tiny clitoral stroking technique that allows you and your partner to go into a limbic connection of ecstatic bliss, where you are in that moment of climax for very long times. And that's the kind of orgasm that is like connecting with God or source or Gaia or consciousness. And I've had that practice for 2 decades with my partner, and I've taught thousands and thousands of couples how to do that with my Expand Her Orgasm Tonight program. So that's a very, very cool thing that really builds orgasmic capacity.
Love it.
Me
I think
too.
people are going to have to listen to this a couple of times to get all that in. Dude, that's amazing. Can we move on to the men?
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to talk about things we had wanted to talk about. We wanted to talk about how to have pleasure without an erection, because 40% of men will start having issues with erectile dysfunction by age 40.
Yeah.
And a lot of people stop being intimate because the erection goes away.
Yes, exactly. That's nuts. So the very first thing to do is, and I'm going to speak to the women here. If you're a man listening, get your wife to listen to this if you have one. If not, let's, whatever it is, whatever you need to do to normalize self-care down there. Let's just call it that. This is a vacuum erection device. This is a 2-cylinder vacuum erection device. It's called the Whopper. This is the one I recommend above
Prescription
all.
or available over the counter?
Available. They sell through urologists, but it's available at pumpswork.com. It's also at Drive Desire. What I like about this is that pumping a couple of times a week will begin to stimulate new tissue growth. It will bring blood carrying capacity back to the penis, and it will allow nerves to grow that have retracted due to capillary and vascular retraction.
So it's like going to the gym for your penis.
It is. And you can move beyond reparation or regenerative therapy using a pump for reversing, basically atrophy. And you can then go on to do male enhancement, which is penis enlargement. You can improve both the girth and the length of the penis over time with consistent pumping. If pumping alone does not get you where you need to go, and by the way, you always want to take nitric oxide boosters. You're low in nitric oxide, especially if you don't eat any vegetables, or you use antibacterial mouthwash, or you take acid blockers or proton pump inhibitors. All of this degrades your nitric oxide. So nitric oxide boosters, citrulline, the study shows citrulline based is better. I like food derived supplementation. So I like this Flow nitric oxide booster. That's like ground zero. Get your urologist to give you your low dose Cialis to get your nighttime erections going again. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And there's data that it's dementia preventing.
Exactly. That's new.
Because of blood flow. That's new.
It's fantastic. Blood flow. And I like these stamina gummies from Nude because they have full of nitric oxide producing materials as well as libido botanicals. And I like plants. I think plants help a lot. Then you want to, if the pump doesn't reverse the atrophy, then you want to get Gainswave. Gainswave is they run this little wand on your penis and your perineal area and the base of your shaft. And it's acoustic wave, and it uses a technique that allows it to kind of break up the plaque in the penile artery and it stimulates new tissue growth faster. You get 6 treatments and within 6 months, you will see so much more function. Some men with diabetes or significant atherosclerosis require a series of 6 treatments, sometimes double, sometimes triple, but 90% of men get full erectile function back with a combination of the nighttime PDE5 inhibitors, the nitric oxide supplementation, the vacuum erection device, and the Gainswave. So while you're remediating, here are some things that you can do. You can use a sex toy, a tool like the Mystery Vibe Tenuto or Tenuto 2. This is a dual vibrating penis ring that traps the blood in. So you can pump, you can pull the constriction ring off and put it on the base, and you should be hard enough for penetration. Or you can put the tenuto on, and that keeps you hard enough for penetration. Never constrict your penis more than 30 minutes. And this is the small mini version where it's not giving you any perineal pleasure, but it's very good for men in the small to medium-sized penile girth who want and need constriction for penetration. Or you can use something pretty simple like one of these little devices, which is called a little lasso, so you can adjust it for tightness. This has a vibrator on it for your partner. Or you can use, I like this little My Hixel device. This is if I can figure out how to get it open. Here we go. This is a penis ring that doesn't constrict the corpus spongiosum, which is that tube that's like the lady G-spot. It's the tube that your urine and your ejaculate come out and down your penis. And it has this little soft thing and this little space on the bottom where it's not going to compact the tissue, because I've seen a lot of guys who've strapped cock rings on so tight to maintain enough erectile because they have venous leak. They strap it on so tight, I know you've seen this a million times, where they've crushed the erectile tissue sponge. And that's really hard to bring that back, but a lot of it can be brought back through the penis pump with the big cylinder, where you're getting the scrotum and the penis in here. This pulls on the suspensory ligament, gets the lengthening, but it also really helps with that compressed tissue at the base. So that's a nice thing too. So these are nice, but one thing that I would be remiss to discuss is encouraging your man to use prostate massage tools. I have 3 that I like, and I've got a really fun surprise at the end as well, but prostate tools are very, very important for our men's erectile health. We're living longer. Men have terrible high incidence of prostate cancer, prostatitis, BPH, urinary issues, and prostate massagers are really nice for bringing blood flow to the prostate area, and with blood flow come healing and growth factors. You're getting things moving. The more sedentary we are, I think this overtime lack of ejaculation and being sedentary, not getting your blood flowing, it's exacerbating prostate issues for men. This one is Mystery Vibes product. It's the tiniest one. This is for guys that are like, I'm afraid to stick something up my button. Then I say, well, I actually like the Plex, but I really love the Vice 2 from Aneros. And they're like, I could never put that in. I'm like, dude, how big are your poos? Like, seriously, my poos can be bigger than this thing. So I know your poos are bigger than this thing. You can definitely get this up your butt. And when you do, and you've
Use
got your
lube.
nice,
Go
of
slow.
course, use lube, go slow, yes. And I like my husband to put this in and give me the remote control. Where is that remote? I may never find it here on my sofa with all my things, but he gives me the remote and he gives me a yoni massage. And instead of me going, oh God, that feels so good, don't stop, or he does something really good and I have a great orgasm, I just press the vibrator and it changes the pattern. And that's feedback for him where I can just lie there and have orgasms, and he's getting prostate stimulation, which I know is good for him. And I'm rewarding him with the little zhuzhes from the remote control. And I just feel like all is right with the world because my man is getting a fun time while he's giving me one. And it's good for his health, which I love. So the last
Was
thing
he game to? He don't share more than
Yeah.
he wants you to share,
No,
but
I know
like,
how to manage that.
Okay. Was he game to be like, "Oh, okay, well, we've learned more about you, let's learn more about me?" Or, like, I'm thinking about the couple where, like, she's trying to figure out how to get a yoni massage started
Yeah.
in the first place, right? And so I
Yeah.
would say, like, butt play, prostate massage, for some people, is gonna be, like, so advanced and their partner's, like, so against it. But so my question is, in the traditional sense where people are starting that, people who are successful in trying these on non-Hollywood PG-13 things, how do people get there?
Yeah.
Conversation?
Drip, 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 drip,
Yeah.
drip, drip, drip.
Yep.
You just have to stay present and have conversations. And here's the thing. You're hearing me talk about this and you're not dying. Are you dying?
That's what I
No.
always say. I'm like,
Right?
people think they're gonna die, but they don't die.
You're not going to die. You're going to have a conversation about your husband's asshole. Okay.
Literally
well,
what I say. I'm like, you think you're gonna die, but you don't die.
So how do you do it? Drip, drip, drip. More. You get more and more comfortable, and then and it is health. It is health care down there. It is, listen, our husbands aren't going to take care of themselves. You know, they're not. So we got to make them do this shit so that they are healthy and they live long enough to keep having sex with us forever.
Right? Yeah, that's the truth. What about perineal vibration for men?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Like this is perineal and prostate vibration at the same time, this Aneros. And that's one of the things I love about it and why it's my top recommendation. And I also just like a simple little remote control. Sometimes I don't want an app. I don't always want to have my phone on during lovemaking. And so I love a dumb little handheld one button to push thing. And that's what I like about that too. Last thing, and this is what you're going to get your husband for Christmas, this is the healthy suck.
I'm gonna get this large package at my house in the beginning of December. It's gonna be like, with love from Susan.
Exactly. And what I love about this is
okay. So just for the people who aren't seeing, this looks like
like a vacuum cleaner.
It looks like an old school 90s vacuum cleaner that you pull around on wheels with like a tube that goes to something that looks like a hair dryer.
And it's literally going to suck your husband's dick for you.
my
First of all,
God.
it's going to get you off the hook, which will be nice. Second thing is, sucking feels so good to men. And there's lots of like strokers and things
Yep.
like that.
Yep. I think those
Tons
are
of-
becoming more normalized.
Well, and everybody's coming out with one right now, and they're pretty much just all strokers are friction. And friction is okay, but it's not as good as suction. And it's not as good as suction for two reasons. Number one, suction feels better than friction. Like if you said to the guy, would you rather a device that would suck you or rub you? They'd be like 110% suck. The other thing is that sucking brings blood flow. You're only getting the blood flow of your own body's capacity. And remember, what we're trying to do is we're trying to improve blood carrying capacity of the penis.
It all comes down to blood flow, people.
Dude, exactly.
It all comes down to blood flow.
And so
this is good because I'm a urologist and I can say without a doubt, do not put your penis in a household vacuum. But buy something that was made for the job.
Exactly. And this is what's so nice about it is that when you put your penis in here, it'll do real deep, long strokes that kind of suck the whole base, or it'll do shallow strokes. You can alternate them. It has
Can you put a soft penis in there? Like say somebody has permanent erectile dysfunction? Okay.
This is the other beautiful thing is that those friction devices, those stroker devices, guys will hurt them. Even the automated ones, like those automated stroker devices, if you get that on a slightly not hard penis and you crack that tubica albuginea, you're really going to bend your penis permanently and it could turn into peyronie's. They're dangerous. I don't like them so much. The suction, you can get your soft penis in here and it never has to get hard and it will feel delicious and it's hands-free. So you can literally sit at your desk or in your easy chair with this on your table beside your easy chair and this little cord on your penis, sucking your penis. You can watch TV, you can scroll social media, you can play a game, you can do your email, and you can just enjoy the pleasurable suction.
How much does that thing cost?
Ejaculate when you want. It's expensive. It's, I think, $900.
Mm-hmm. But why is it so big?
To get the level of precision of the sensation, This is a very quality product. There's no other suction device like it. And I can't recommend anything else. And in the grand scheme of things, for many people, $900 amortized over years of
It for a
pleasure
good sex I know. It is
is
a
nothing.
no-brainer. I agree.
It isn't.
Go back to the man with the permanent erectile dysfunction because of surgery or diabetes, whatever it might be.
Yes.
Can he experience orgasm with that suction device?
That and this. I want to show you this as well. This is called the Pulse Duo. And what I love about this is that they create, and this is the last one I have to show you. They created this product so that it uses that same pulse plate technology I was telling you about on the Queen for Yoni massage. That's where it came from. They invented this for men with intractable erectile dysfunction who are never going to maintain an erection again. And this little plate right here, can you hear it?
Oh, good motor.
It's such a smooth motor. And this, you lay the penis in here and it stimulates the frenulum, which is generally it is the most sensual, erotic part of the penis, which is the glands, the head, but on the underneath part is basically what it is. And this is remote control vibrator, and it can be used as a bit of a stroker as well. But what I love about this is that it's actually dual purpose. This ridge here is for the vestibule of the female body. So she can ride on this. You can use it for yoni massage. He can put his penis in this and she can get on top of him. He's getting stimulated with a flaccid penis. She's getting stimulated on her clitoris. I've got it the wrong way. On her clitoris and on her vestibule between her labia, which tickles her introital sphincter, her opening to her vagina, her labia, her clitoris. And he can play with her boobs. He can make out with her. He can tell her how beautiful she is, how sexy she is, how amazing she is. They can love on each other and they can have mutual orgasms together. And so
Dude,
I
I
really
love that. Who makes
love,
that?
this is Hot Octopus.
Hot Octopus.
Yes, they're one of my favorite brands because their
Perfect.
products are so intelligent and it has a remote. So once he's got his penis in there and she's enjoying the pleasuring of this, she can have control over the sensation and vibration that is happening to her yoni. Now you're close again without an erection.
I think that's brilliant.
And he can use his little healthy suck and he can lay there while you've got your, your yoni massagers and your lady wands and all those things. And you can mutually masturbate and
you say, thank
kiss.
God for technology. So we didn't have to get a divorce.
Exactly.
This is amazing. I'm so glad you brought all of these shows and tells. Can you talk for a little bit longer? I know we're reaching an hour, but if you need to cut, you're good.
Every moment with you to me is precious because we are such kindred spirits and I can be my nerdy, sexy self. And I know you love that about me.
I will hold
and it
the
makes
space.
me so happy. So yes, I feel like you're my kindred spirit.
So I want to talk about STIs.
Yes.
And midlife people having sex and needing to test for infections and what's coming down the pipeline for home testing. Please share the information because just because you can't get pregnant doesn't mean you can't get an infection.
God, you do not want to get an STI. Like just getting HSV has long-term, that's herpes, has long-term downstream effects. You don't want to give it and you want to get it. If you don't know you have it, you want to know you have it so you can abstain if you have an outbreak. It's skin-to-skin contact transfer. Condoms are security theater. Like you think that you're safe because you have a condom? Hell no, you do not. And it can give you trigeminal neuralgia. It can give you neuropathies of all kinds. I've got a terrible neuropathy in my lower back I'm getting over because my boyfriend cheated on me when I was in my 20s and gave me HSV2, genital herpes. I've struggled with it my whole life. And now I basically have shingles in the nerves of my lower back. It is a misery. And it is one of the things that accelerates your propensity to have Alzheimer's disease. So even just herpes is bad. But now, like Mycoplasma genitalium, there are resistant strains out there. So you can't just test and go, oh, I got Mycoplasma genitalia. I'll just take, whatever, doxycycline. Now you've got to get a second test that says, okay, what strain is it? Is it one of the resistant ones? Because you got to get the right antibiotics. So just don't freaking get it. Same with syphilis, same with gonorrhea. There are resistant strains out there now. So it's very, very important. I just recently wrote a book. Now I'm the chief advocacy officer of a company called Pro DX Health. And I wrote a book that we've just launched that is at fullpaneltest.com, where I teach you how to have the safe sex talk, when to have the safe sex talk, what to say, frequency of testing, gestation periods of STIs. Some of them show up within 8 to 10 days to 2 weeks. Some of them you don't see that you have them for up to 90 days. You could have a test right after you had unsafe sex, thinking you had a condom, you got something, thinking you were safe with a condom. No, you got something, you have the test, but you could have gotten more than one thing and it will go undetected because you need to test 30 and 90 days out from unprotected sex. And I don't even know what the hell unprotected sex, what
Well, I think
unprotected
what they
sex
call it
is?
now is safer sex.
Well, here's
With
what
the
it
statement
is.
that there is no 100% safe sex except for sex with yourself.
You need to test before you have oral or intercourse. It's pretty safe to use hands. So let's just say you meet somebody and you're like, oh, I would really like to have sex with this person. Awesome. I want you to. Relieve me. I want you to. But what I want you to do is say, before we can have any, mouth to mouth or mouth to genital contact, we can play. You can give me as many orgasms as you want. Hey, have you ever heard of a Yoni massage? How about a lingam massage? We can do all that stuff. We can get naked and we have lots of orgasms. However, you want to test before you do that. And so I love that you can now keep a test at home, keep two. So you can both test, you mail it back, it goes FedEx priority, you get test results that you can read on your phone. They use the latest testing equipment. Most of the stuff that Quest and LabCorp are using is ancient shit. And I don't want crappy STI tests. I just don't want to get anything ever because I am trying to minimize my viral and bacterial loads whenever possible. And I'm trying to keep my gut microbiome super healthy. I don't want to take antibiotics.
That reminds me of a meme. It's like, is tea worth disrupting your vaginal microbiome over?
Exactly. And what I love, have you seen these Tasso blood collectors?
Yes.
My God.
It's the future is now, my friend.
The future's now. So you know how you used to have to make an appointment and go in and get a blood draw. And by the way, men particularly are fearful of blood draws. It makes them woozy. I think it's a genetic thing. And that's just like my intelligent guess.
You're like, they're short Y chromosome? What?
And I don't know what it is, but men seem to have more fear around needles and blood than women do. And so they're less likely to get tested because they don't want to get the prick. So
these are like modern day leeches, basically.
These are, you basically
for people who can't see them, they're kind of like a little suction cup and you put them on your arm and then they pull the blood through your arm. Seriously, it's like it's like modern leech technology.
It doesn't hurt at all.
Doesn't hurt at all. And you don't have to go to it's going to revolutionize once they get enough to figure out how to do all labs with it. It's going to revolutionize blood draws. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah, you just attach the little vial. It fills up the vial. You undo it. You screw on the lid.
So cool.
Pop it in the mail. You pop it in the box. You send it back.
What's that kit called?
This is called fullpaneltest.com.
Fullpaneltest.com.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll have some sent to you so you can check them out. They
are love to.
Fantastic.
I want to have some in my clinic.
Yes.
That's awesome. The other thing that I think is it's good updated science to have on STIs is we used to say BV was a female thing. You couldn't get it from your partner, blah, blah, blah. We don't think that anymore. Now we think, yes, men can absolutely transmit BV.
Yes.
When you have BV, get your partner treated.
Yes.
That is basically a revolutionary, a 180 of what women were told about BV. That it wasn't a STI, you couldn't transfer it between partners, and now we're like, oh yeah, you totally can. There's new data on that. So just an update for people on BV.
I want to say one more thing about the test as well, and that is that when most people test, they test for syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and HIV 1 and 2. That's what they test for. But that's not enough to test for. This is a 10 test. So one little tasso and a little swab, either at the tip of the penis and inside the vagina, depending. And then it tests for chlamydia, trichomoniasis, Gardnerella, gonorrhea, hep C, syphilis, HIV 1 and 2, mycoplasma genitalia, which people call MGen now, and HSV 1 and 2, which are very important to me as well.
Game changer. I want to invest in this company.
I know.
That's so cool.
And the guy who runs it is a doll, and he is an infectious disease, Stanford trained, unbelievable human being. And they do the test kits for the adult industry who test every 2 weeks. They are CLIA certified and certified. So this is what the adult industry uses, which is gold standard because they are the most careful and cautious. So really, really, really important to just get up to speed on test every 6 months if you're sexually active with more than one person. Very, very important. And always test before mouth or genital contact.
Very good message, and I'm so glad we covered that. Let's talk about the role in the aging human, any gender, the role of hormones in desire, blood flow, intimacy. Give us your soapbox on hormones and sex.
Well, I'm a giant proponent of hormone replacement therapy. I've been doing it for decades, started with progesterone, added on estrogens, Biest, estriol, and estradiol, and I love testosterone. I put the testosterone directly on my clitoral structures. It keeps
compounded
them nice
testosterone for clitoris.
I use
not
compounded.
The systemic gel that can sting.
No, I don't like the gel.
Smells.
It smells. It's shitty to put it on your skin.
It's just shitty.
It's just shitty. It's like, remember in the were we talking in the last episode about the way that I look at sexual lubricants as like ultra processed food?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So it's the same with the testosterone gel. It's like, why did you take this simple little molecule and add all this crap chemical junk to it and now expect that I'm going to rub this all over my skin? Like,
right.
I like clean beauty. I like clean hormones. I like everything to be as clean as possible. I'm trying to lower my endocrine disruption, capacity.
Burden.
Burden. Exactly.
So if this is the question that it's not a fair question, and we already talked about the permission to ask this question, if you had to give up one of your hormones, or only keep one of your hormones, however you want to, what would you do?
Well, the problem is that the progesterone and the estrogen balance each other out. So they're kind of yin and yang. And that's difficult. I would want them both, and I love them for sleep, and I love them because estrogen that's our master hormone, and it's running so many functions. But I guess that for me, because Susan Bratton is a badass bitch person, and I love to be like strong and confident and capable, and I just got back from the gym and I'm always
for
building
people who can't see,
muscles.
Susan has muscles. Your organs of longevity are
63 years old, and I'm trying to lift my body weight of 160 by
Susan,
my 64th
I ate
birthday.
140 grams of protein yesterday.
Good.
I didn't die.
I love it. So I think if I had to choose, because my sexuality and my sex span, which is lengthening my health span, and it's building muscle, and it's making my libido strong, I might choose testosterone if I had to. And I think what I like about it the best of all those things isn't even any of those things. It's the confidence. It gives me balls.
You know how many women have started businesses after starting on testosterone?
Exactly. And I like my voice better. I like my deep voice.
Yeah. Take up space, Susan. Take up space.
I'm taking up all the space, Cal.
Yeah.
All the space.
I love it. And so that was a very good answer to a very unfortunate question.
It's hypothetical because you'd have to pry out of my cold dead hands,
Nobody's coming over to actually prove the experiment.
And I can probably beat them up, so.
Yeah. Totally. I would also like that and I don't know the right age, but I would like men to get screened for testosterone at like age 50, maybe age 40.
40. You know 30, why?
38.
because they're all sitting on their asses. Yeah, 38's good. They're all sitting on their asses. And now I hear from men constantly because of the penis pumping thing, because I am really the queen of peen. Like, guys, I've helped almost 20,000 men successfully pump. And I've had over 50,000 copies of my pumping guide downloaded. So I touch a lot of people with penis pumping. I'm a very trusted resource. And I talk to a lot of young men in their 20s. Like, I just asked a guy just DM'd me today, and he was like, I'm not seeing the gains from the pump. I bought the one that you told me, and I'm not seeing the gains. And I'm like, okay, how old are you? And he said 26. And I was like, do you eat vegetables? And he goes, no, I don't eat any vegetables. And I go, okay. And how are you pumping? He goes, well, I'm pumping every day for like over a half an hour. And I'm like, oh, this is what men do. If you tell them what to do, they're like, nah, I'm going to do more. I can take it. I can pump to a level 11. I can do it every day. I don't need to do it every other day. I can do it every. It's like, dude, you know how when you build a muscle, you don't do arm day 2 days in a row. You need recovery so that the tissue can build. You're not seeing any gains.
Perfect.
Eat some vegetables and pump every other day and give yourself recovery and follow the rules. And he's like, well, can I ask you for more questions? I'm like, no, read my book.
Yeah.
Don't ask me any more questions
First
until
things
they're
first.
intelligent.
Right. You're clearly not following any directions, so let's start there. There is just a new thing that's showed men on GLP-1s are getting larger penis sizes. And
is that because they can see them again?
Yeah. So
is that like, because their little fat pad is shrinking?
Yeah, I mean, so they think it's two things. Number one, GLPs don't actually make you have a bigger penis, but GLPs do two things. GLPs help you lose weight, and when you remove the fat pad, I always tell guys, your penis is the exact same length. You just got bigger around it. And so, because the penis is attached to the pubic bone through the suspensory ligament, it doesn't extend out with the belly, right? So you lose the weight, so the penis appears bigger. And then number two is men who are overweight on GLP-1s lose the weight and they increase their testosterone because they're not converting it with the adipose tissue.
Yes.
So increased testosterone, increased blood flow, likely increase in the smooth muscle. So again, appearance is looking bigger, but the GLP-1 in and of itself doesn't make a bigger penis. But I thought that was a nice deep dive and like some good sex ed on that.
I like that. Thank you for bringing that up. GLP-1s have been amazing for people. I'm so happy for everyone who needed them.
It's I think it's going to be the game changer. It is completely changing a lot of things about America. It's exciting. Access needs to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it will. You know, it's still from a mass standpoint, it's still very new. I know they've been around since 2005, but like from a mass population standpoint, it's still pretty new. All right, wrapping it up, we covered a lot. We covered yoni massage, multiple orgasms, all the good toys, erectile dysfunction, pumping, STIs, all the hormones that are good. What else would you want my listeners to know?
If there was one thing I could leave you with that I think is important, is we've talked a lot about the mechanics and the physiologic potential of our bodies. But I think it's really what you asked me earlier, Kelly, about, well, how do you start talking about this stuff? And one of my most popular books I ever wrote was, I've written 34 books and programs. My epitaph is going to be, my epitaph is going to be, she had a lot to say.
She just didn't stop. It's a big topic, Susan.
It's a vast landscape. It really is. And one of my most popular books was a book called Sexual Soulmates, The 6 Essentials for Connected Sex. And the reason that I think it's such a precious little tome is that after helping literally millions of people over decades learn how to have passionate lovemaking, the thing that I realized is that what sits at the base of it all, what holds it all up, is bedroom communication. I can teach you all the techniques in the world, and they are useless if you can't use these lips to say what these lips need you to say. And I'm pointing down to my genitals. And the Sexual Soulmate Pact is one of the 6 essentials. And I pulled it out and I turned it into a little PDF that you can download at Sexual Soulmate Pact, like an agreement, PACT, sexualsoulmatepact.com. And what it will do is you can print it out and read it, and then you can give it to your partner. And what's nice about it is that you can give it to your partner and give him the steps in a very easy way. Men don't want meandering information. They want to know what the strategy and steps are. And basically, I won't go into it all here because you can just download it. But what it does is it teaches you how to know what you want. Because for so many people, they say, especially female bodied people, they say, I don't know what I want. I just know what I'm getting, ain't it? And so this teaches you how to use your interoception, listening to your body. And then it teaches you a structured, safe communication system with your partner to be able to begin to voice what you really want and for your partner to love hearing you ask for it because they realize that they didn't do anything wrong. They don't emotionally collapse. They don't argue with you. They don't push back. They don't act like they're butthurt, which is what so many men do because they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to screw up. They want to do the right thing. And when they think they're not doing the right thing, they get all like, and so this is kind of a ninja technique that it doesn't exactly make them think it's their idea, which is like the penultimate way to manage men. Love you guys. No, yeah. but what it does is it helps him take it in a way where he's like, I'm winning. This is helping me win. And that's what they want. And so I think the Sexual Soulmate Pact is the place to start. Like, whoo, this was a lot of territory we covered. But now what I've at least, I hope, told you is, hey, you've got all this stuff, fun stuff to play with. Start anywhere you want, whatever calls to you, any little thing that moves you forward. But without being able to talk about things, you're going to kind of stall out. And so that's what I want to leave everyone with.
It's beautiful. Is one of your books, and if it's not, will you write it or direct us to one? I need a book for a resource for men to have sex with erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. Well,
do you have that book?
I have a book called The Get Hard Book. It's at gethardbook.com, and it explains a lot of how it works and what to do. And for many men, it's not necessarily things like venous leak or physical issues or atrophy. For many men, it's performance anxiety as well that creates erectile. And there's a lot of good kind of stay in the moment, stay hard techniques. And one of the things that I think is most important for men is we don't need you to enter the bedroom with a raging erection and maintain it the whole time. I want to normalize getting hard, going soft, getting hard, going soft, getting hard, going soft, and stop this rushing to intercourse that's serving no one. Slow down, get in your heart, get in your connection with your lover, and bring some vulnerability and bring some ease and grace and show your pleasure and just stop putting yourself under so much pressure.
Yeah. Well, society gave guys a number with that one.
We did. It's not fair to them.
It's really not fair to them. Thank you so much. Oh, I have one final question. How many website domains do you own?
My God. I have the world's best collection of cute and sassy domain names. I think it's over 100 because I've written so many books and I have so many programs and I have so many free gifts that I own well over 100. Really, I have Squirt Your Heart Out. I have Revive Her Drive. I have, like just fun things. They're so cute. I always enjoy them.
I think I'm on like my 5th and I'm like, oh my God, I have so many. But now you're making me feel like I'm not overly excessive.
Well, and I think the ending is my favorite domain is betterlover.com. Number one, that's where my newsletter is. So if you sign up for my newsletter and you have any questions for me, you can reply to any email I send you. I'll personally get it and respond, and feel free to reach out to me. I do enjoy everyone's loving notes and questions. They make me help you better. So there you go, betterlover.com. That's kind of the main.
I love it. Thank you so much for round 2.
Kelly.
Can we be on stage at some point together?
God, could we not? Oh, it would be so good. We would have such a good time.
That's what I'm going to
manifest. How tall are you?
5'5".
That's going to be even better because I'm like 6'5", not really, but I'm 6 feet tall. And so just the sheer, like the physicalness of the two of us would be so fun to look at.
I agree.
I just love that. It's so cute. You are a little spitfire, Kelly. Yes. Let's do some stages together. That sounds fun. Well, I love to do comedy. So I'm like you.
Me too.
I'd rather do a comedy routine about sex than anything else. Like the education is fun, but I love to laugh it up.
Yep. Same.
More soon.
All right, my love. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.